Hey guys, I'm Tommy with Studio Sense. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's video. Here at Studio Sense, I try to gently guide you during your fragrance journey to elevate your scent game in a smart kind of way. You kind of want to know what's going on out there in terms of men's fragrance and what's new, what's great, what you can pass by, and what you want to give your attention and your money to. So today we're talking about a relatively new release by Herrera, and that is Bad Boy Elixir. Yet another elixir. Is this just another in a line of so-so very similar fragrances, or is this a keeper? We've got that and more coming up right after this. Welcome back, everyone. Now today we're talking about pretty much a new release. I'll say it's been out for a while, but I'm going to still call it a new release. You can get it at discounters, and I'll tell you where and for how much a little bit later in the video. But right now we're taking a look at Bad Boy Elixir by Herrera, the latest in a line of fragrances in the very cool Bad Boy line. In typical fashion, before we do anything else, let's take a look at what it looks like. The box is kind of a gold and black combination. The outer edges of the box have some gold detail, and the rest of it is black. Bad Boy Herrera, New York, Eau de Parfum Elixir, 50 ml, 1.7 fluid ounces. On the back, you've got some address information, additional information, the website, nothing on either side. Top of the box has the Herrera logo, CH, in gold, and the bottom has the QR code, UPC, house size, concentration, various information like that. Now when I first purchased this, I thought this was a 100 ml bottle. It's actually not. This is the 50 ml bottle, and I'm kind of glad I made that mistake. Kind of what prompted me into making that mistake. It was a $130 for the 50 ml bottle. And I thought, okay, that's kind of expensive for a Bad Boy fragrance for a 100 ml bottle. When it came, I realized it was a 50 ml, and I was a little bit disappointed because you can obviously see the difference in size. If you want to radiate an aura of sophisticated warmth, then Bad Boy Elixir is your go-to. Now the bottle itself is sporting a luxurious shade of brown that is reminiscent to the leather that the house of Herrera is known to work with. It mirrors the leather accord in the scent itself. It has the typical plastic top with the atomizer pump on top in plastic that you depress. It has the CH in gold, the Herrera logo in gold below the aperture. The bottle itself, of course, is that luxurious brown, and the kickstand that it's sitting on is gold and made of metal. It's very good looking. It actually says Herrera, New York. Imprinted on the bottom, on the other side of that, is the size, house, concentration, and some additional information, including the batch code, which I will list here for those of you that want to check out the batch code of my 1.7 ounce 50 ml bottle. If you know anything about the Bad Boy line, it is best known as the lightning bolt, and it will always look very cool, whether you like it or not, whether you like the fragrance or not. The presentation is aces in my book. It's a little bit awkward sitting on the shelf in terms of setting it down and hoping you don't knock into it. It'll fall over very easily, even though it is on a metal kickstand that sits pretty nicely. But as you can imagine, the end or edge of a lightning bolt is a little bit more precarious than just your typical bottle standing there. But hey, it's worth it to look great. I'm gonna go ahead and waste the spray to show you the quality of the atomizer. As long as you push down decently hard, you're gonna get a full spray's worth, which is just enough to last pretty much all day. We're gonna talk about the performance, the longevity, the sillage, the scent bubble a little bit later in the video, but suffice to say the pump is decent. It is not top notch. It's not the best I've ever seen or ever used. Definitely not the worst. I would say it's middle of the road. Now that we know what the bottle looks like, the presentation is great. I love that lightning bolt turned into a bottle, a fusion of metal, plastic, and glass. It looks great, heavy, very well made. What about the fragrance? What are the notes that make up Bad Boy Elixir? Bad Boy Elixir opens with bergamot, mandarin, and sage, with heart notes of lavender and cocoa, resting on a base of incense and cedar wood. If you know Bad Boy at all, you're getting a little bit of Bad Boy DNA in this. Not a ton. I think out of all of the fragrances, this is, besides Bad Boy Extreme maybe, this is the least Bad Boy-like. You get it in there, but it's more of a hint or an echo, because primarily what you're getting is a very, very masculine, very nice, very wearable, very crowd-pleasing leather fragrance. You've got that open of sage, which is just a spicy way of saying, oh, hello, let me introduce you into what you're really going to be looking at today and smelling, and that is leather. Leather mixes seamlessly with the cedar wood because both of them are pungent, both of them are kind of heavy. One encapsulates the other much better, so you get more of a hint of woodiness as time goes on. But again, it doesn't take away from your primary focus on that leather. There are hints of cacao, cocoa, both actually in this. They're both kind of the same thing, different processes. Not at all as much as in Bad Boy Extreme. So this doesn't automatically fit within the season or category of winter as well as Bad Boy Extreme does. This is definitively a winter-oriented fragrance with few exceptions. This, however, has been crafted to be an all-season wear fragrance because it's primarily just focusing on leather. All-season fragrance, all-occasion fragrance. I will say though, in terms of when to wear this and how, I do feel like the DNA in this fragrance was crafted with the casual experience in mind, but it's not limited in scope. So you can really wear it on whatever occasion that you feel a leather, lightly sweet, very wearable, pleasing leather fragrance is appropriate. You determine the appropriacy, is that a word? Of when to wear this fragrance and where to wear it. Categorized as a warm and spicy fragrance, and as such fits the aromatic, woody, spicy category is its classification. The best way to wear a fragrance like this, WNC, stands for wrists, neck, and chest. So it's the easiest way to think of where you want to spray your fragrance: wrists, neck, and chest. Or really anywhere where there's a pulse point. For me, it's just the back of the neck. The back of the neck creates a really nice focal point of weight, you know, whenever you're moving. Throws your fragrance in that right around that area here. If you're wearing your fragrance on your ankle, nobody's going to be able to smell it because nobody's down there. If you're up here and you're wearing it somewhere around here where people's noses are and can get to it, then they're going to be able to smell you. Now this sage is very aromatic and it blends really well with the leather that's used in here, the same kind of leather that Carolina Herrera uses in their house. It pays homage, in fact, to Carolina Herrera's leather work in the fragrance, in the DNA of the fragrance itself. Some have said that the fragrance very much reminds them of Tom Ford ombre leather, and I get that comparison. This is a bit softer and not quite as harsh of a leather. It's more in line with a high-end leather blend that you would find in a designer fragrance, more of the crowd-pleasing leather, but it's not as sweet as you might expect a Bad Boy fragrance to be. Now, let's talk a little bit about the price point. Right now you can get at Joma's shop, you can get a 100 ml bottle for what you pay for the 50 ml size. That's right, $129.99 for a 100 ml bottle at Joma's shop, because you're going to pay $163 at Macy's for the 100 ml bottle, unless you want to get the 150 ml bottle, and that's $205, I think. If you pay for the 50 ml size like I did, then it's $128 and change. So the price is kind of high. Now, if you like leather-oriented fragrances, and if you like your leather fragrances to be pretty dense, but not super heavily leather-focused, meaning like a medicinal leather or a harsher, rough and ready cowboy kind of leather, then you're really gonna enjoy this. If you took Hugo Boss the scent and married it to, say, Ferragamo Intense Leather, it would be kind of sort of similar to what you're getting in Bad Boy Elixir. That's the kind of leather that you're looking at. So it's a very crowd-pleasing, very wearable on any occasion kind of leather, but it's kind of expensive. So having said that, I would highly recommend, if you're a completionist and you want all of the lightning bottles that you can collect, get it at Joma's shop, because you're gonna pay a lot less for the 100 ml bottle than you would anywhere else, and that's my recommendation. Or wait until it's at every discounter at a much lower rate. In terms of performance, you're gonna get serious longevity out of this fragrance, but don't be too focused on sillage. You know, if you're all about that scent bubble and you wanna have a huge scent bubble and you you want your fragrance to enter the room before you do kind of thing, you're not really going to get that in this. Heavier on the skin, pulls back quite a bit on the sillage, but it does last a good hour or so, you know, not much beyond that in terms of the scent bubble. But what you're really getting as a leather fragrance, you're getting something, you want your scent bubble to not be where you stand, you want it to be where you move. In other words, you want people to smell your wake more than you do want them to walk into your scent bubble, right? So movement's going to create that wake, and that'll do that in pretty much any fragrance that you wear. But one that's going to last 10 plus hours is going to create a much better wake than one that doesn't have that longevity. That's more the importance of longevity over sillage. And I'm not saying sillage takes a back seat, but it's not quite as important as longevity is. You're going to get longevity out of this, not quite as much of a scent bubble as maybe you're used to with other louder fragrances. For those of you that love leather fragrances anyway, you're going to really enjoy this one. For completionists just wanting to buy the bottle for the sake of the presentation, you can definitely get it for cheaper at Joma Shop, but you might want to wait until the price drops overall. That's pretty much it, my first take and first impression on Bad Boy Elixir. Let me know though what you feel about it. Have you guys worn it? You got a sample of it? Tried it out? What are your thoughts? Share those with everyone in the comments below. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in today and checking out today's video. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Please be safe out there. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, thank you so much for your continued support on what I do here on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.